Good morning. So I woke up today and I honestly did not know what to film. I am the kind of person that when an idea comes to me, I want to write it down immediately so I don't forget. So I literally have an entire notes app on my phone listed of random ideas for booktube that I want to sort of execute one day. This morning I was sitting and thinking to myself, like, I'm not really in the mood to film any of those things, and I don't want to say I've been in a reading slump lately because I don't really like that word, but after my high performance last month that you can see in my summer catch-up, I read a lot of books over the month of especially July and August, and I was just thinking to myself, I feel like I have a lot of pressure to perform a certain way, and I guess I wanted to start a discussion here on BookTube. I'm sure this discussion's already been had with other creators, but I sort of just wanted to put my 2 cents in and sort of give my story with how I've really changed relationally with books and sort of how I view quality versus quantity. So someone who grew up an avid reader, it was definitely really easy to attach my self-worth to the number. If I look back on my past Goodreads challenges, I think my average was like 35 or 40 books a year. Granted, I was in high school, so I had a lot more time than I do as an adult. You know, I had less responsibilities, more time on my hands. I had less of a social life, so I was definitely more introverted than I am now. But again, it was just crossing my mind, and I feel like it goes beyond just the pressure to read a lot, because that's something I see, especially now online. There's this idea of book consumerism and how book talk is destroying books because people are simply buying massive amounts of books for their haul videos, and then they end up unhauling them, you know, weeks, months later. I'm not really invested in the book talk community per se because I don't have TikTok anymore, just for my sanity. Social media can be very draining, and having Instagram just personally is enough for me. But I will say that I'm not surprised that, you know, we're human beings. We copy each other, we mimic each other, we see things that we like and we want to do the same. So I'm not surprised that, you know, these trends have really gotten really popular. But I guess what I wanted to get more at today was not just, like I said, the number of books that people are reading, but even what we read, what type of content as creators we feel the need to produce. This could even be something as simple as feeling pressure to read certain types of books because you know that that's what more people are reading. So if you don't know, this year I got into cowboy romances and just smut in general. This is a genre I have always stayed away from. I've always been more into epic fantasy, dystopian, other YA type novels, a little bit of horror, but I never ever really touched contemporary romance or smut for that matter. This year was really a journey for me to discover my reading, push my boundaries, and discover that I like things that are more mainstream, and that's okay. But I will say, when you look at the, you know, big booktubers out there, you look at the bigger content creators, even if their main niche is not books but just lifestyle, there are a lot of commonalities. There's common authors like Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, Colleen Hoover. But what if you don't like to read these books? And I know there are smaller channels out there. I see you. I watch your content. I see that you're not reading the books that are as mainstream as what the public likes to consume. And I just want to say, I kind of feel for these people. And I know that views are not everything. I know that, again, quality over quantity, right? You can be very happy within a niche talking about books and maybe pop culture that is not necessarily the mainstream media. But I wish there was a way to sort of de-stream what is mainstream, if that makes sense. I wish people were diversifying their tastes outside of just, this is what most people are reading on Goodreads these days. This might seem like a bit of a ramble, but I feel like it does tie into that overall idea of like, I need to hit a certain amount of books I read this year. So again, I've been an avid reader. I've used Goodreads since I was like out of the womb. So every year, I remember New Year's Day, I got so excited seeing the new Goodreads color, and I wanted to set my number of books read for that year as a goal. And I always shot for the stars. I would do 50, 60, 70 books, and I never hit those goals, and I would be really disappointed. It got to the point where I was Googling, how do I make up my reading goal by the end of the year? And the common answer I would get is graphic novels, short stories, mangas, etc. Problem is, this was type of content that I was not really a fan of. Audiobooks at the time was also something that I was not into, which I will make another video on later because I think it's so funny to see how much my views have, let's say for lack of a better word, revolutionized since I was in high school to now, because now I really do enjoy audiobooks. Point being, there's no reason to put self-imposed or any societal pressure on people to read a certain amount or even read a certain thing or a certain genre, a certain book. I am in no way judging people who mainly digest mainstream media. That is absolutely not not my goal. If that is the thing that you really like to do, go for it. Like, I'm all here to support. I don't believe in people now on the other side of the book talk community who are sort of this brown-nosed attitude and thinking that they're better because, oh, I don't read Colleen Hoover and I don't read smut. I'm much more sophisticated than that. A book is a book. Words are words. Pages are pages. Unless you're reading like illustrated children's books that have like 3 words a page, you're reading a novel. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care what genre it is. For the most part, like, it's a standard book. And I think that people get too caught up in their heads with this superiority or God complex to be like, well, no, I read books with, smaller font and more words per page, so therefore I'm more intelligent. This is a friendly reminder that book smart does not equal street smart or any other forms of intelligence that may not be really considered. That also feels like a topic for another day. Can you tell I have ADHD? But point being, like I said, I just wanted to open the floor for discussion. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts below. Like, have you ever felt pressured to read a certain thing, whether it was for a video as a creator or maybe just like within your own like social circle? Have you ever seen things on social media and you thought to yourself, oh, I don't really like that genre, or I don't really think that that's right for me and I don't want to read it, but I'm gonna do it, and I ended up not liking it. Sometimes it's good. Again, for me, being pushed out of my comfort zone and discovering that I do like smut and I like cowboy romances, things that I never thought that I would like, things that, honest to God, I thought I was above when I was younger. So there is a positive side to this, but again, I'm discussing more of like the self-imposed pressure and just pressure in general that people might feel a certain way to really digest mainstream media. And this is honestly not a discussion that's just for books. We can really relate this to movies, TV shows, music. I'm the kind of person who likes almost everything under the sun when it comes to music. There are very few things that I will not listen to. I've also had a revolution this year with really liking country music. I went to a festival with my friend this year, a country music festival here in Ontario. So, things change, people change. I'm very open. But again, I know some people are not, and I know that people can be judgmental and they are not very inclusive of really uplifting those that maybe don't necessarily agree with their point of view in terms of like genres that they like to read or books that they think are really good. I think it's important that we all be mindful and respectful and also support smaller content creators who aren't reading as much mainstream media. I can't tell you how many times I've thought to myself since starting this account that I want to create a video reading book talk books for 24 hours or reading popular books so you don't have to. I know that that is what will get me more views, and again, not here for the views. I'm here to share my love of reading. I'm here to share myself as an individual with you all. I just want to be able to share that with a bigger community down the line. So it's one of those things where I've thought to myself as like a strategy, as a tactic to get my foot in the door, just to, sort of get people to be like, hey, here's Kasha, let's see what this channel is about. I thought to myself, should I create that type of content? And also on the flip side, I thought to myself, maybe this is good to, again, push my boundaries and see if maybe I'll end up actually liking some of these books. So I'm not here to, again, judge or say that doing those types of tactics for your channel is necessarily or inherently a bad thing. I think most of us are guilty of doing it, doing video ideas that we see are popular on the internet and recycling them or recreating them either with our own twist or just keeping it more mainstream to really get more views or to connect with more people. Because the way I see it, getting more views is not like, oh, I'm gonna be a really popular YouTuber, I'm gonna make loads of money. Like, that is not what I'm here for. For me, having more views means that I'm connecting with more people like you, and I love connecting with people. I'm a very big social introvert, extrovert. It's still, the jury's kind of out on that one, on which one I really fall under, but personally, I love engaging and talking with people. So for me, that's really my goal with this channel moving forward, is to create content that's both true to me and also true to my viewership. And I do think that that is a fine line that we walk because, again, it's very easy. And I'm thinking now about an author, right? Or even a song artist. They might write songs, or maybe their team is writing songs that they know that the public will really, really enjoy. Like, for example, Sabrina Carpenter, love that woman to death, went to see her in Toronto last year. Absolutely 12 out of 10 woman. She put out her new album, Man's Best Friend, and it was so obvious to see the tracks that she was going to release as singles when you listen to the whole album. My personal favorite right now is Nobody's Son, and it just makes me think, I wish some of the songs that were not as mainstream or made for the public were released as singles sometimes, you know? Like, I completely understand why Manchild and Tears had that more like boppy, you know, pop synth feel to it that was going to get them more views. But it makes you wonder, like, how much of the content that's out there is actually made out of true passion and creativity of the creators, or is it more so to gain something out of the viewers, out of the people who are absorbing the content? And that is something that I want to be really mindful with this channel. As much as I love hearing from people and knowing what kinds of like content people are interested in recording, I'm also a very moody person. And what I mean by that is, like, if I'm not in the mood to read a certain week or even a certain month, I don't want to have to feel the pressure like, okay, now I need to read X amount of books so I can have a September TBR or a fall wrap up. I'm the kind of person, when I get an idea, I sit down, I film, I record, I edit, I post, bam.
I'm very fast. I'm like Forrest Gump. Except I am not an idiot.
Like, I only have one weekly reading vlog on this channel, and it was so much fun. And literally, there was no other reason I wanted to do it except I wanted to document my life that week. I knew I had a lot going on. I thought this will be good content. I don't want to now think to myself, okay, like the next couple weeks, I have a lot going on in my personal life. I don't want to pressure myself to have to bring my phone around and record when I just simply want to be living my life. But, you know, once you become a creator, you almost have this filter that turns on, and you think to yourself, maybe now I need to record because this is something that could be really good for a video, really good for a clip. And if you have the energy to do that, by all means do it. Again, not knocking on anyone that has that really high, like prolific, for lack of a better word, because I don't know, I'm thinking about like, I know prolific is more like when you write a lot, but when you just have a high volume that you're producing, it can be really easy for you to just be like pumping out content like that. This is why I respect all those lifestyle YouTubers that do Vlogmas, because I could literally never. Like, doing daily vlogs makes me like want to just blow my brains out. Like, it's just so much pressure and just tiring. Like, I just can't imagine how exhausting it must be. But yeah, those are basically my thoughts. I feel like they were all over the place, so again, I apologize. This is just how my brain works. I literally had this idea to myself like 30 minutes ago, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit and record today, and I'm gonna see what comes out of my brain. I literally have not eaten breakfast. That is how dedicated I was to this idea. But I am very excited to hear your guys' thoughts below, so please feel free to leave a comment, whether you're a content creator just starting out, or maybe you're not and you're just simply someone who's on Book Talk, on Instagram, on Goodreads, whatever type of online platform that you're on. But yeah, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll be meeting you in the comments. I'm gonna go eat breakfast now like a civilized human being, because it's like 10 a.m. and I'm hungry and I have caffeine, and those are not good combos, my friends. Do not drink caffeine on an empty stomach, even though I just did. And now I will go. Bye bye.